Hi, Jerry Ann. What is your title at Stevenson University? What's your role?
I am a freshman admissions counselor, and I have the privilege of working with all students who are coming from New York.
Yay. So that's really awesome. So I would like to introduce you to, this is Southampton High School, and I'd like to introduce you to our participants. We have a variety of people. We have students, we have parents, we have a counselor, we have a football coach. So this is Stevenson University in Maryland. She's going to share a little bit about what she has to offer, and because it's live, you have an opportunity to ask questions as needed. So,
do you want her to start, or you want
take it
me to
away.
start?
Yeah, take it away.
All right, sounds good. Well, if anyone does have a question, just make sure you get my attention so that I know to stop and answer your questions. I'll be happy to do that while we're talking about Stevenson. So, just to start off, to give me an idea, does anyone know much about Stevenson University? Has anyone been to campus or heard of us? No? All right,
I
good.
have.
That's fantastic. I know, Dr. Rodriguez. That's good. All right, well, then that gives me a good idea. We'll go ahead and get started. So, Stevenson University is located in Maryland. We're about 15 minutes outside of the city limits of Baltimore. We are definitely located in the suburbs, but for students who have internships or that type of thing, you have easy access into the city. I did a Google search. We're about 5 hours from you all, so not too far. Depends on the traffic, of course, getting over the bridges, but about 5 hours depending on where exactly you're coming from and what that traffic is looking like. Now we have 3,200 students. So what that means for students is that your average class size is going to be about 17. So we have a small school atmosphere within the classroom. Professors know students, you get the opportunity to do hands-on projects in classes and really get the chance to know your professors and have that interactive chance in class. Now, in terms of the entire student population, with 3,200 students, you don't know every face on campus. So we're kind of a bigger small school. We value the small school atmosphere in the classroom, but you're not going to know every face. You're going to recognize a lot of them, but not know every face while you're at Stevenson, which I think is a benefit. It also means that there's lots of clubs and organizations and activities to get involved in too. So that's what that means for students specifically in terms of size. Now we are a liberal arts institution. So the general idea behind a liberal arts school, and this is true for all liberal arts schools, is you have to take a set of general ed classes while you are at Stevenson. So that means every student has to take a math, a science, a history, humanities, those types of things, and that makes up your general education curriculum. Now, beyond that, of course, you would dive into your major, but Stevenson does things a little bit differently. So while, yes, you get this liberal arts education, we are very focused on career preparation. We want to make sure that what you're learning in the classroom is going to be relevant, right? The whole point of a college degree is so that you're going to be more successful when you dive into a career. So we're very focused on that. We have a program at Stevenson called a Career Architecture Program, and it looks different for every student. A student who wants to be a nurse is going to have a different career preparation path than a student who wants to be a teacher and is going for our education major. Same for a business student or a film student or a fashion design student. It's going to look different for every major. So what I thought I would do is do a little bit of a case study, show you something on our website so that you can get an idea of what that career prep looks like and how to explore a specific major. So let's see if we can do this correctly. Dr. Rodriguez,
Okay.
let me know. I'm going to share my computer screen and show you our website.
We have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
How many years is just the beginning part in college, as far as excluding the major? How many years is the liberal arts part? Is it 2 years of liberal arts classes?
Like the core
And
curriculum?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I will tell you that most students do not take those courses all first and then go into a major. So it's hard to say that it's 2 years of general ed and then 2 years of your major courses because that's not quite accurate. It's about a year and a half of classes, but students will most often take those simultaneously with their major courses throughout the 4 years that they're at Stevenson. So for instance, one great example is our film students. They take 3 film classes in the fall semester of their freshman year, and then they'll also take their English and their first math class and a humanities course as well in that first semester. So So they're taken simultaneously, but if you add them all up, it's about a year and a half of curriculum. All right? Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our website, and it's a great resource. We recently redid it, which is why I wanted to show it off here. So stevenson.edu is the resource. If you go to academics and to our undergraduate programs, then you can get a list of all of the majors that we offer at Stevenson. Now we have 5 schools. The School of the Sciences and the School of Business compete in terms of size every year. Sometimes the School of Business is slightly larger than the School of the Sciences. That is the case this year by 12 students. The School of the Sciences is so large mostly because nursing is our largest major. And then the School of Business has our second largest major, which is Business Administration. We also have a School of Humanities and Social Sciences, a School of Education, and a School of Design. I'm going to focus in the School of Design on a major called Business Communication. So this is for students who are thinking about going into, writing, being an event planner, doing journalism, those types of things. So this kind of gives you an idea of, first of all, what you can see on the website, and second of all, what you can do with this specific major. So it's an overview. Business communication is definitely a jack of all trades major. You can go into a lot of different things. Over here you can see, what can I do with this degree? So that's often a question that we hear, and that's something that we focus on because of our career preparation, is always looking ahead. What are you going to do with your degree? So here are a few different options for what students have done in the past. And then you can dive into our career services website just to learn a little bit more specifically about what career services can offer. There's an overview of the major here, and then courses and requirements. What types of classes am I going to take? Now these are the major specific classes. So you would take these classes on top of those general ed classes that you would take at Stevenson. Now, career focus, as I mentioned, is really important, and one of the ways that Stevenson implements this and weaves it into our education is that every student has to intern before they graduate. It is 100% a requirement. I think that's so cool. In fact, we encourage students to do more than one internship. Some students will replace the internship with research if it's more relevant in the sciences, or with a capstone project. I know our film students or our fashion design students, or visual communication design, which is graphic arts, those students will do a capstone project because they need that tangible production of work to show off. But the point is that you're getting that real world experience. So you can see here this CM 401 senior internship that's included in the curriculum. And business communication is jokingly known as the intern major at Stevenson. I see students interning up to 4 times as part of this major. So while it's required once, we encourage you to do it more than once. So something else that's pretty cool here, if you check, you can see if you want to do a minor or a specific track within the major. Business communication is one of our BS to MS options at Stevenson, meaning that you can get both a bachelor's and a master's in 5 years at Stevenson. And you don't have to apply into the 5-year program. You would apply into just the communication major and then apply as a junior at Stevenson into the master's program. But it speeds up the process. You would only need 5 years to do this. Other options that have this are teaching in the sciences, secondary teaching in the sciences we have, as well as forensic science, forensic studies, business and technology management, and healthcare management is another option. And then just one last thing I'm going to show you on the website, and we'll talk about some other things. This section over here, news and events, this is a blog that is kept up by our faculty members and sometimes by the students in the major, just to keep you updated on some current events. So for instance, our men's lacrosse team just won our 3rd straight Commonwealth Conference championship on Saturday. Pretty proud of that. And our MVP was a business communication major. So this is just an opportunity to feature Connor, who was named MVP. And then you can also see down here, as our school year is ending, lots of students are being offered jobs. And here's a few students who are going on, one to law school, and then a couple other who have either been offered jobs or their internships have turned into jobs. So it's a really cool website, to check out, and it's different for every major. Every major has something a little bit different. So I would encourage students to check that out, just to kind of explore what options are available.
Great.
All right, are we back?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So nursing is our largest major. Business administration is another big one. Criminal justice is a huge major as well. So lots of opportunities to study different things at Stevenson. So check out the different options. Does anyone have a question about a specific major? No? Okay. And then of course internships, which is such an important part of what you're doing. Now, we talk a lot about career services at Stevenson, and that's because what we're doing is working. We have a 92% placement rate. That means that 92% of our graduates are employed within 6 months or going to graduate school within 6 months, which is phenomenal. So we work really hard to make sure that our students are turning into success stories, and we love when they come back and tell us what they're doing. So that's what I have to say about academics. Now, of course, we don't anticipate that every student's going to be in the library their whole 4 years at Stevenson. We want you to get involved. So we have lots of different sports. I hear that there's some football people in the room, so we do have a football team. In fact, our facilities were previously owned by the Baltimore Colts, so we have a fantastic facility for our football students, which also leads into lacrosse and soccer and other students who use our fields. We are Division III athletics, so we do not offer scholarships specifically for athletes for their athletic talent. We have merit-based scholarships, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we are very competitive, and we are also recruiting all of the time. So I always recommend students to reach out to the coaches, let them know that you're interested. Everything from football to lacrosse. Our women's volleyball team is fantastic. We just announced a brand new sport, sand volleyball. We are the first school in Division III in the nation to have a sand volleyball team. So we're really excited to start that. We have women's and men's ice hockey, spin, tennis, baseball, basketball, all the good ones. So it's nice to be able to get involved. Out of our 3,200 students, 700 are varsity athletes. So we are very passionate about our sport at Stevenson. So if you're not one, you know one. That's how it works. There's also JV level, club level, and intramural level if you wanted to play at a less intense pace than our varsity athletics. We also have clubs, organizations, activities, anything from community service-based clubs. Mission I'm Home is an example. They head down to New Orleans every year to help rebuild. So that's a really cool spring break trip. There's also community service. There's multicultural clubs, religious clubs, academic-based clubs. Then there's student government and special interest clubs. We have a paintballing club at Stevenson that was started last year. And just like most small schools, if there's a club that you want to start that isn't here already, then you can make it happen. So that's nice to know. Paintball, like I said, was one that started just last year because the student was really interested in making that happen. So might as well go for it. Lots of activities happening on campus otherwise. One example, we had Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian, better known as Fluffy. He was on campus this spring, which was fantastic. We sold out our gym. Over 1,500 people showed up for that. And then the Powder Puff football game, and the homecoming, and the dance, and the humans versus zombies competition, and all sorts of things. So lots of ways to get involved, and we encourage our students to do that. Any questions about activities or clubs and organizations?
Do you have any Greek life?
We have 2 sororities on campus. We do not have any fraternities, so we have a club called MILE, which is it's for males in leadership and excellence. So it's similar to a fraternity in terms of the things that they do, but it's not a formal fraternity.
Okay.
Though we do have 2 sororities. I would say that it's just like the other clubs on campus, not necessarily a dominant scene.
Okay.
Academically, what are you looking for in your students when you're
Okay,
going
great.
through the admissions process?
Yeah, so let's talk about the application process and the admissions and kind of our profile. So we have a holistic review process. I'm the one that reads applications for New York, and I promise I read everything that students send us. But I will say that the transcript is the most important part of what we're reading. So we want to see that students are challenging themselves. That means that they're taking an honors or an AP class if they can, taking a few if possible. If they're going into the sciences, we want to see 4 years of math, 4 years of science, maybe a 3rd year of language, those types of things. The average GPA for students last year was a 3.48 weighted. Are you guys on the 100 scale?
Yes.
Okay, so low 90s is about where that is. Basically A's and B's. We don't set minimums for the GPA or the test scores, but it gives you an idea of where students are. The other thing that we require is test scores. We do require SAT or ACT is fine, doesn't matter to us. The SAT, the middle half of the class landed, let me just make sure. Yep, landed between 1,400 and 1,680 on 3 sections, about 500 on each section. ACT composite score, the middle half landed between 19 and 24. So these are students who are currently finishing their freshman year. So students who will be starting next year, the numbers will change a little bit. We just don't have them yet.
Right.
So that's an idea for test scores. Of course, we require the essay. We require 1 academic letter of recommendation. And then you can send us more than that if you want to. And then you can use our application or Common App. We are a Common App member school. So if a student is using Common App, that's fine with us. It doesn't matter to us either way, which you prefer. Just make sure you complete all the steps for either our application or the Common App. We pretty typically keep the Common App essay questions, so they tend to be the same. Also, I didn't mention SAT, we do super score. So students, if you're taking the SAT multiple times, that's going to be beneficial to you. We will pick your best math, writing, and reading score, even if you didn't happen to take them at the same time. So we'll line them all up and just pull out the best of each of the sections. Yes?
I think I got the big question in the back.
Can everyone like just look at him when he's asking the question so like everyone's paying attention? Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
How much is tuition?
Oh, good question. That's always a big question. Now, we're a private school, so tuition is the same in-state and out-of-state. I'm assuming that you all would want to live on campus. So if we're looking at the total cost, tuition, fees, room, and board, it's about $43,500 for the year. Now, of course, we don't want to leave you hanging with that, so we offer lots of scholarship opportunities in addition to need-based aid. So scholarships right now, and I have to preface this with they change year to year, but right now, scholarships are being offered from $8,000 to $18,000 per year. Now, that is based solely on students' academic merit. There is no requirement to submit a separate application or anything. We do that automatically. I also didn't mention before about deadlines. We do not have a strict application deadline. We are on a rolling deadline. The sooner you apply, the sooner you hear back. Scholarships are the same way. We'll send your scholarship after your admission decision. About 3 to 4 weeks for the admission decision and about 1 to 2 weeks after that for the scholarship. Now that's just the merit-based scholarships. We also offer a full tuition competitive scholarship that does require a separate application, and that's due earlier in the year on November 1st. Information about that is online. It's obviously competitive, it's full tuition, but we have been offering 10 every year, so that's nice. It's a good number that we're able to offer. There's also other scholarships for students interested in art, and then scholarships for, if you come and interview with us, we can potentially offer you additional scholarships. So that information is available online and is updated regularly.
Do you track demonstrated interest?
We do, yes. So if students attend a high school visit or a college fair and they fill out our card, or come for an interview, those types of things, yes, we do track it. I wouldn't say it's ever a deciding factor in the admissions process, but we do have a holistic review and we do check to see if students have visit or interview.
So would you be willing to count this as a participation in a high school event? I could send you the email addresses of the students who've participated?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely. Yep, this would be considered a high school visit.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you ask another question? Everyone just turn around for a second, because you're so good at your questions. Yeah, so everyone just look at him because he's so.
Another question, let's see.
You want your full scholarship right now?
No.
How about study abroad? Any
Just look
opportunity to
at him
study
because
abroad?
he's asking a very interesting question and she's.
I would obviously with some of the scholarships, I'll just guess, financial aid is part of the school too, as far as tuition.
Yeah, so we definitely offer needs-based aid. It's a very different process than merit-based aid, which is what our scholarships are connected with. Need-based aid is through the FAFSA, the
Okay.
free application for federal student aid, and of course we accept the FAFSA. That happens in January of the student's senior year.
Okay.
And then we consider students based off the FAFSA data for grants and loans and those types of need-based aid.
Good, so it's not you're not a profile school.
The,
That's nice.
coach and the
Yes,
athletes
we,
gotta
yeah,
go
no, we do
to the
not
track.
Okay.
require profile. Yeah.
Okay, some of our student athletes have to leave, so
Okay.
Nice
Bye,
meeting you,
guys.
thank
Good
you.
luck. Thanks for visiting.
Yeah, I can tell that.
make sure you guys signed in because you'll be eligible for the gift card.
They all signed in, right,
Okay,
boys?
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
you,
for
guys.
coming. Any
I
other
realized
questions?
I didn't talk about residence life, which I know is a big part. Did you want to hear about that?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So our residence halls are very nice, and I'm not just saying that because I work at Stevenson. Come visit, check it out for yourself. But they are all about 10 years old, so all of the buildings are fairly new, which means that we got to add the bells and whistles that we wanted to. The residence halls are set up as suites for students that in their freshman year. So one student lives with another in a room and two next door, and then the 4 students share a bathroom. So we don't have gross hallway bathrooms. It's 4 students to a bathroom, which is nice. There's air and heating and cable and Wi-Fi and all of those things that students would need. And that's available for students all 4 years that they're at Stevenson.
Great.
So those are the freshman halls. As students get older, they have the opportunity to live in apartments where you're no longer sharing your room. So there's 4 individual bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a full living room and a full kitchen for students.
Great.
Yeah, so come check that out for yourself. But I would say that they're pretty nice. We offer the opportunity to see a residence hall for every tour on campus. We have a specific room that's set aside to show students what a freshman hall looks like. So come check it out.
Great.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
We went to, which one was it with the hotel style? Was that Towson? We went to one of the universities that we visited. We tried to come to you, but you didn't have any availability when we were there.
Oh, no.
Rachel has a condition that she needs a bathroom like at a split second. I know one of the places we went had a hotel style residence where it was 2 students with 1 bathroom in the room. So she would have access to that bathroom at all times. Do you have any type of facilities like that?
Yes, so I believe, if I'm understanding you correctly, then that's the way that our halls are set up. So when you go down a residence hallway, you open a door, and behind that door is a bathroom and 4 students.
Okay, so
Does that make
4
sense?
students would all be sharing that 1 bathroom.
4 students would be sharing that 1 bathroom. Now, if there was a concern and you needed the opportunity to have faster access, our apartments have 2 students per 1 bathroom.
Okay.
So that would be a little better than the 4 students per 1 bathroom.
And
So
as
the
a
way that
freshman, she would be able to get one of those if she needed it.
So the way that we handle all students who have any type of accommodation need, anything like that, whether it's being vegetarian or gluten-free, or needing accommodations, or needing a medical fridge in the hall, or whatever it is, all of that goes through our Office of Academic Support. Our Director of Disability Services is the first person to talk to, and she kind of works with the different offices on campus to make sure that we're able to accommodate. We of course offer reasonable accommodations for all students. Just be a matter of having an individual conversation and making sure that we can create an environment that would be comfortable enough for whatever the student's issue was.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great. Any other questions?
Just one last question. What has been Stevenson's position on the redesign of the SAT? I know this won't impact Rachel, but I'm just curious.
Right, but it impacts a lot of students now, a lot more students
Yeah.
now. So that's a great question. The redesign of the SAT is something that we have been monitoring very closely. We as a staff talk about the redesign of the SAT very frequently because it is going to be a huge impact not only on students but on our policies and what we're going to choose to do. We will do what our competitor institutions are going to do, which most likely is going to be that we will not require the writing section. That we are going, because it's now going back to optional, so most of the schools that we talk to are also not going to require that. I don't want to say that definitively, we still have to see how things work, but we will be monitoring that situation very closely, and we will be in touch with students to kind of give them an idea of what that transition will look like. It is something that, is a hot topic right now, and we will be keeping a close eye on it. and most likely doing what other schools that are similar type, our competitor institutions will also be doing.
Would you have advisement for a student to take the old version and then the new version? Like some of our students who are entering 11th grade are considering taking the SAT in like, you know, November, December, and then trying the new version after that. Or would you, for those students who would be then applying the following year, consider the old version and the new version, or no?
I'm sure that there will be a period of time where we're looking at both exams. I'm sure that that will be inevitable at most schools, that we kind of have to do that. So if a student is doing that, you know, that would be fine. I would not have them only take the old one. I would make sure that they do take the new one, because the majority of students in that year will be taking the new SAT. So if they want to take both, I understand that. I'm not sure that we have an official position on which one they take, or to take both. But just know, you know, we're very aware, because we're not test optional, we're definitely keeping tabs on what's happening. So we'll be in communication, and we'll probably be flexible during the transition years.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. One other thing, just before I let you go, for any students who are interested in nursing, there's a slightly different process for nursing, and I know that this kind of incites a lot of questions. So nursing at Stevenson is our most popular major, and it does require a separate review process. However, when students apply to Stevenson, it is a direct entry program. That means when they apply to Stevenson and to the nursing program. It's a parallel review process. We're going to review the student's application for admission to Stevenson and review it for admission into the nursing program. When they get their admission decision letter, it will tell them right off the bat, both, you know, hopefully they've been accepted to Stevenson, and then second of all, if they've been admitted into the nursing program or not. It will say right there from the beginning. There is no competition for positions in the nursing program in the junior year or anything like that. At that point, once they're admitted into the nursing program, we guarantee a spot for them in clinical's junior year, as long as they keep up the GPA requirements and those types of things at Stevenson. So I know that can be a huge benefit. Nursing programs can be incredibly competitive. And at Stevenson, at least you know from the beginning if you're good to go, as long as you keep up and do well in the nursing spot.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jerry-Ann.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My biggest recommendation to students is to come to campus. That's the best way to know, you know, really what it's like. Walk around, see it for yourself. So hopefully we'll see some new faces on campus from Southampton.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you need anything else, just be in touch.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.